Chamblee, Georgia is one of the best neighborhoods in Metro Atlanta. It offers a great suburban lifestyle, close proximity to all of Atlanta's most popular amenities, and some of the best, most authentic local cuisine in the entire Metro. Today, we're going to discuss what it's like to live here. We'll go over all of the major amenities, what it costs to purchase a home here, and what housing options will be available to you. We'll tour some homes that are on the market right now in Chamblee. We'll tour all the major neighborhoods, talk about things like demographics and quality of the public schools, and so much more. So Chamblee is a small city located in DeKalb County, just north of the city of Atlanta, but inside the perimeter of I-285, making it a great option for someone looking for more of a suburban lifestyle with really close proximity to a major city. As always, let's pull up a map and see exactly where we'll be talking about today. All right, we have our map of Atlanta pulled up. Here you see the perimeter created by I-285, downtown Atlanta, and you have Chamblee here in the northeast corner, bordering the perimeter of I-285. So right off the bat, you'll typically have really convenient access to two major interstates, 285 and 85, but it's hard to think of a location more equidistant to some of the most popular amenities around Metro Atlanta. If we look at some of those, we'll see to Piedmont Park in Midtown is about 23 minutes. A trip to the airport will typically take you about 35 minutes. You can see there's some heavy traffic at the moment. I should also mention, and we'll touch on this later, there is MARTA connectivity here, so you do have the option of taking heavy rail directly into the airport. 26 minutes to Decatur Square, which is an extremely popular area. 28 minutes to downtown Alpharetta, which offers an entire different ecosystem of fun things to do that a lot of people enjoy. So that's not going to be out of reach like many people who live closer to the heart of the city. And 21 minutes to the Battery in Smyrna, where the Braves play and where there's a bunch of fun stuff to do. And of course, being located on the north side of town, you are going to have a head start on all the amazing amenities that North Georgia has to offer, from the vineyards to the Blue Ridge Mountains to making your way up to Tennessee or the Carolinas if you so choose. So speaking purely in terms of being equidistant to really popular amenities, it's hard to beat the location of Chamblee. The different sections of Chamblee are made up as follows. You have historic downtown Chamblee, the Buford Highway corridor, the DeKalb Peachtree Airport, which is a commercial airport, and the subdivisions of Sexton Woods, Keswick Village, Claremont Park, Huntley Hills, and Beverly Hills, otherwise known as Beverly Woods. Let's hop in my car and take you on a guided tour through some of the most popular sections of Chamblee, Georgia. All right, so I'm walking through downtown Chamblee, and this is a really cool area. It's basically a historic railroad community that's been preserved. A lot of character here. It's not quite as bustling as some neighboring suburban downtowns, but there's some interesting businesses here. There's a couple of breweries, a distillery, a bunch of antique shops like we talked about before, some high quality restaurants and shopping, and this is City Hall behind me. They just had Taste of Chamblee, which was a great event for local food businesses. I'll put some B-roll in the video here, but that was a fantastic event centered around all the amazing ethnic food that you can find in Chamblee. So this is a really cute downtown area with a lot of great businesses, has a lot of character as well. So a major benefit of living in Chamblee is access to MARTA rail. This is the Chamblee station behind me. And although our rail is limited, this can be incredibly convenient to be close by to. Let's say you're traveling out of town and you don't want to Uber back and forth to the airport, which is what I always used to do. What you can do is just park your car long-term at the Chamblee station. The first 24 hours are free. It's $7 a day after, and you can take the rail right into the airport. So it could potentially save you a lot of money and be much more convenient. Long-term parking is cheaper, and you can get directly into the airport all the way from Chamblee on rail. And of course, that's not the only place you can take rail. For example, if you want to go enjoy Midtown and have a picnic at Piedmont Park, there's a station there. So you can take the Chamblee rail into Midtown without ever getting in your car, which is really rare for Atlanta. And if you're a little further from the Chamblee station, there's the Doraville station as well. So one of the big benefits of living in this area is going to be your access to MARTA rail. A lot of people don't take advantage of it like they should, but I'm telling you, it can really open up the city to you and and make you less car dependent. All right, so we're gonna take a ride down Peachtree Boulevard, which is one of the main arteries running through Chamblee, just to give you a sense for all the amenities, retail, and shopping that's available for you living in this neighborhood. And really, it has everything you could want, really all the highest quality retail you could want. You're not gonna be missing out on anything. I'm passing a shopping center right now. It's got Chick-fil-A, Crunch Fitness, Publix, Vet, Urgent Care, TJ Maxx, Home Goods, Ace Hardware, Rack Room Shoes. So great shopping centers here. There's a bunch of car dealerships on Peachtree Boulevard. I think I said this somewhere else in the video. Antique shops, furniture stores all over the place. So this is a great place if you're looking for unique finds or something to furnish your place. Just a lot of good stuff. All the fast food that you would want, of course. A little further up Peachtree Boulevard is the Peachtree Pavilion, which is a fantastic shopping center for food. Literally at least 10 high quality options for eating, mostly Asian, which, as you know, is some of my favorite food, but that's right down the street. But banks, auto parts, anything you could want. Chains, a lot of chains, but there are independently owned places, mostly the antique shops that I was mentioning. Downtown Chamblee is going to be just a bit to my left here, and we're about to come up on some recently built condominium and apartment buildings. So there are many more housing options developed recently in Chamblee. This is an absolutely booming area, this in Doraville. So a little further down Peachtree Boulevard, passing another high quality shopping center. This one has a Whole Foods, which I love. I know a lot of people love. There's a Lowe's on my right. You know, this shopping center has Verizon, Chipotle, Gusto, Starbucks. There's really everything you need right in Chamblee. You're not gonna have to travel into the city for anything. Now, these are not gonna be walkable from your front door, of course, but there's gonna be all the retail shopping that you could want a very short drive away. All right, so now I am taking you through not only one of my favorite parts of Chamblee, but one of my favorite parts of the entire metro Atlanta area, Buford Highway. You've heard me talk about it quite a bit. This is the land of incredible, authentic, affordable food of all kinds. Mostly falling under the category of Latin American or Asian, but there are so many options beyond that. Even for my money, this is the best spot to eat in all of metro Atlanta. So many of my favorite restaurants can be found along Buford Highway, and hopefully you can get a sense for it from some of the B-roll that I'll include in this video. But to me, this is a major benefit of living in Chamblee. You have high quality, non-chain, mom and pop restaurants available at your fingertips that won't break the bank. You can still do lunch at many of these places for $10 to $15, depending on where you're going. And Michelin recognized restaurants. And there's just so much. I've been here, you know, almost 20 years, and I have just sort of scratched the surface on what's available at Buford Highway. It just goes on and on and on. Sushi, Sichuan, hot pot, great Mexican food, Costa Rican food, Korean, Taiwanese. It really just doesn't end. And even more than just the restaurants, there are all kinds of interesting businesses that you probably wouldn't see in other parts of the city, whether it's acupuncture or something related to Eastern medicine. All kinds of great massage parlors out here. So many good farmers market. I'm passing City Farmers Market right now, which I love. So if you like something that's non-cookie cutter, you like supporting independent businesses, you like foreign food, authentic, great cuisine that's not ridiculously expensive, you're gonna love being so close to Buford Highway living in Chamblee. I think it's one of the absolute best things about living in Chamblee. Understanding the diversity of a certain area is extremely important for many of my clients. So let's look at the statistics for Chamblee. Now, I have the computer pulled up and we're looking at dataus.io, which is a really nice resource for a lot of statistics and information about any neighborhood that you're looking at. So looking at population and diversity for Chamblee, we can see that it is 32.6% white, 15.8% black, 9.5% Asian, and this chart differentiates between different types of Hispanic, but we can see that overall the Hispanic population represents 38.9%. We were talking earlier about Buford Highway and how there are so many amazing Latin American and Asian cuisine offerings, and this, of course, is a huge part. And this, of course, is the reason you have much higher than average Asian and Hispanic populations in the Chamblee area. So it's a very diverse place. And keep in mind, we are inside the perimeter, very close to the heart of the city of Atlanta. So if you have any worries about being accepted living in Chamblee based on anything to do with your race, I don't think you need to worry. You should feel right at home no matter who you are here. Now, some other useful information that can be found on this website relates to the economy and the types of jobs that are available. There's a few charts here. There you can see employment, the most common occupations. So you see management occupations, business and financial operations occupations, computer and math, sales and related occupations, construction represents a significant amount. So this can give you a sense of what types of jobs are available. Of course, it's pretty generic. So for a little bit more specificity, we can look at industries. We can look at employment by industry types. So if you're in a certain field, this could give you a sense of how much job availability there would be for you in Chamblee. We can see professional, scientific, and technical services represent 14.5%, construction 15.7%, healthcare and social assistance 9.1%. We're very close to Sandy Springs here in Chamblee, and Sandy Springs is a hotbed for medical related jobs. There's an area in Sandy Springs known as Pill Hill, which has 3 major hospitals and thousands of medical related practices. So if you work in the healthcare industry, Chamblee would likely be a great place to find work in that field. So of course we need to discuss what it costs to live in Chamblee, both to purchase a home and to lease a home. So I've pulled up the MLS with every active listing in Chamblee right now, and we're just gonna go through it. I'll share some thoughts with you, and hopefully between this and me driving through some of these subdivisions, you'll have a great sense of the style of home you can find in Chamblee and what it will cost for that style of home. So I've got every active listing in Chamblee right now. There are 29. This is a mix of attached and detached, and we'll just run through this as quickly as possible. So we have some pre-construction here. So you could see brand new construction 2025 at a 5.5, almost 4,000 square feet, 1,775,000. So of course, this can be a very expensive area if you are looking for something big and new. Again, with the new construction, obviously this is listed in price order. So these are going to be the most expensive. This is Repose, which is a new, still being developed community in Chamblee. So you can see the types of finishes that they're offering here. Looks very nice. I like some of the colors here, moving away from that agreeable gray and shiplap and everything all white, which I love. And again, in terms of size, 4.3.5, 2,500 plus square feet at 982,000. And this is brand new. And this does have an association fee, $215 a month for this little community. And there's a few of these right now, I believe. You can go on the MLS and look. Some are finished and some are not. But this is a 4.3.5, again, 968,000 square feet. These are brand new. So this will give you a great sense of what a new construction community at this size is going to cost you in Chamblee. You're also going to have some one-off new construction developments. This one has not been built yet. Repose here, Repose. Here's a illustration of what that community looks like. So it is dense. Chamblee is in many parts a very dense area, and any growth here going forward is going to have to be pretty dense because there's just not as much space as other parts of the city. And again, we're also going to be looking at townhouses and condominium building. And of course, we'll also be looking at attached options like townhomes and condos. This is the Foxtrot, which is a 2025 build, 3.3.5 at 775,000. The HOA is $395 a month, and I'll be very honest with you, the HOAs for attached options here do bother me, especially because they're very comparable to areas like Midtown. The only problem is Midtown just has more to do. It's more dense, and there's more justification for a higher HOA, even though I think those HOAs are ridiculous as well. It could just be hard to stomach paying this much additional to your mortgage for an HOA. We can see some of the finishes here. Some of these I like, some of these I don't like, but it is brand new and it is a good size. This HOA, as I said, $395, and this is going to cover insurance, maintenance grounds, maintenance structure, reserve fund, and termite. So this one does not have swim tennis. And so we'll see a few units here at the Foxtrot, which is a nice, beautiful new building. Looks great from the outside and is in a great location off Claremont Road. We see our first detached option, a 3-2 at 1,500 square feet, 725,000. Great front porch. But this is not a huge home. It is renovated, a little bit of a smaller kitchen here, certainly move-in ready. This is a fairly small home for a lot, and this is a more expensive area. But this does have, you know, some of the better school assignments that we'll see, Ashford Park in particular. Kingston Gate, this is a older townhome community, 2002, so you're paying $665 for a 3.5 at 3,500 square feet, $400 a month monthly HOA. Again, I'm not a fan, but that doesn't bother some people. And another Cape Cod style home, looks a little darker, again, similar size to the last one. I think you're getting a sense for the price range according to what you get. Of course, you're gonna see some late 80s, early 90s builds, which have a different feel here. These listing photos are not great, to be honest with you. This one probably needs some work. And remember, it always looks worse in person than it does in the photos, so account for that. This one's been on the market quite a long time, so they're probably pretty overpriced. We've got about $600,000 for this home, which is a 4.2.5, 2,346 square feet. We can look at it. We can see what it looks like inside. Nice flat lot, certainly move-in ready. Definitely not completely updated. Love this sunroom. So as we get down in the 500s, certainly move-in ready, detached options, but they are not going to be super updated or massive. And you can get a sense for, you know, the mix of homes that we're looking at. Townhouse community, built in 2019 here. So not bad looking, good size. Again, look out for that HOA, $280 a month. And some of these will have decent amenities like a swimming pool and a gym, but some will not. Of course, with the attached options, you're gonna likely be able to get much closer to downtown Chamblee, have a little bit of walkability, and be super close to where all the best retail shopping is. So we're still looking at good move-in ready options in the 5s. And then as we get down in the low 5s and 4s, these are gonna be slightly more fixer-uppers or even flips. I don't personally have a problem with those, but you know, not everyone wants to get into a project, and we're looking at a detached 375 option, which honestly still looks like you could move into today, but obviously has some challenges with color and wood paneling if that's not your thing. And this is a 3.1.5 bath at 1,215 square feet, so a smaller home. Then you've got some of the older condo buildings, 2005, the lofts at 5,300, 344,900, which is a great price point. This is what it actually looks like, and this is showing you what it would look like if it were built today. But if the older finishes don't bother you and you want to be Chamblee, you know, you can still be at a decent sized place here. $458 a month though for the HOA. This does have swim, tennis, and covers your termite trash and a few other items, but look out for that HOA. And this is just going to be more units here, and then fixer uppers. This is actually kind of a cool looking building, kind of mid-century. Yeah, built in 1968, 199,000 for a 2.2. Actually, don't really mind this at all. I think that could be a great buy. $475 a month though on the HOA. So that should give you a sense for cost of living in terms of purchasing a home and what types of homes are available to you. Let's look real quick at leasing. We don't have too many options available here. You're always going to want to look to Zillow for your main source for leases, because more and more landlords are only putting their lease listings on Zillow. So you want to combine an MLS search with the Zillow options. And so you can see about $4,000 will get you a 3.5 at 2,500 square feet. This is built in 2016, 358. I mean, doesn't seem like great value to me right now, personally. This is a newer building, 2024, which looks like some fantastic amenities here and close by. And we can see the unit itself has some more modern finishes. Looks like we have some Photoshop stuff in here. It's kind of tricking my eye, but yeah, this one's been on the market quite a long time. And then you can see you can rent an entire detached home at a 4.2, 1,400 square feet for $3,200 or thereabouts. And you can see what kind of finishes you're going to get in there. So it's going to be expensive to rent a single family detached home in Chamblee. Got the Manor in Chamblee, which we looked at, the Oliver. And then of course, as the buildings get older and smaller, it's going to be more affordable for you. And about the cheapest you can go is going to be an 80s townhouse at 2.5, 1,300 square feet for $1,750. And this is what you're going to be looking at. So not a cheap area, and that's just because Chamblee is a great place to live. But hopefully that helps you understand what it costs to buy or lease in Chamblee. All right, let's talk about school assignments in Chamblee. You're looking for a great suburb, you've got kids. Obviously, the schools are going to be a huge factor for your decision. So right off the bat, let's look to the City of Chamblee website, chambleegeorgia.com, and just get the list of schools. So these are all the school assignments you'll see in Chamblee. So you've got 6 elementary schools, 2 middle schools, 2 high schools, and some private schools. And you do need to be careful when doing your research about schools because there's a lot of conflicting information and incomplete information. If we look, for example, at greatschools.org and pull up Chamblee, it's not going to pull up all the school assignments that we see on the City of Chamblee website. If we go to the elementary schools, we see some schools that are actually not relevant to Chamblee, and we're missing some schools that are. So for instance, one of the best school assignments in Chamblee is going to be Ashford Park Elementary, which is actually not listed here. So if we were to just look up Ashford Park Elementary, we can see that it gets an 8 out of 10, so highly rated. So you want to work backwards from the schools that are listed either on that website, or if you're looking at a certain listing, obviously it's going to have the school assignments that you should be researching. And you do want to be careful because it said Huntley Hills Elementary is really low rated, 4 out of 10. Now, does that mean your kid is not going to get a good education at this school? Personally, I would be suspect of a rating like this. And if it's got a lot of information that we can research, but I also like to look at the reviews. There's only 13, but it is well reviewed, and you see some parents and or students talking about being a diamond in the rough, the STEM offerings, music offerings here. A lot of positive comments about Huntley Hills Elementary, and it's not one of the higher rated ones. So I think you want to take the grade itself with a grain of salt. You want to collect all the information possible and decide if a given school assignment is going to be sufficient for your child's education. So I'm not going to go through every one of these, especially since it's such a personal thing for you to decide with you and your spouse. However, there are definitely high quality options at each school level in Chamblee. Of course, it will be dependent on exactly where the home you're looking at is located, but it's important to know that there are high quality school options available here. So as you can see, Chamblee has a lot to offer. If you're looking to live and or raise your kids in an environment that is slightly suburban, but still has a slight city feel in the sense that it is so close to a major city, all of the, common amenities that a great city like Atlanta would offer you are really still at your fingertips in Chamblee, being inside the perimeter. If you want to live in an area that's diverse and has honestly some of the best food options in the entire metro Atlanta area, and if you have a really decent budget to pretty high budget, to be honest with you, but maybe not the budget that say East Cobb or Alpharetta would require of you, Chamblee is also going to be a good option. And of course, the commute. Work is always one of the biggest factors when making these decisions. So if you're ITP, really no matter where it is, your commute is going to be okay. Honestly, for me, if I were looking to raise a family in the suburbs, other than city of Decatur, Chamblee would probably be my top choice. Mostly because I like that mix of city/suburban vibe with the great diversity, the fantastic food, being close to everything, but not being right in the heart of the madness of the city. So I love Chamblee. Hope that came across in the video. Hope you know more about it and that provided you more value and help in making whatever decision that you need to make. Thank you so much for watching. You can help this channel by commenting what kind of content you want to see in the future or don't want to see. You can help this channel by liking and subscribing it. It's a free way to support me. Thank you so much for watching as always, and I'll see you next time.